Krunalayam Namami Bhagavatpatam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Bhattarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Gukaro Anthakaro Vairukarastan Nivartakaha Anthakara Nirodhitvat Gurujitya Vidhiyate Om Sahanavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Bhadram Karne Vishrniyama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabiryachatraha Sthirairangai Sushtuvam Sastanupihi Vishema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vrittashrabaha Swasti na Pusha Vishyavedaha Swasti nastaksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspati'r Dathatu Om Shanti 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 Om Prajnanam Shupradane Sthiracharanikara Vyapibhir Vyapya Lokan Bhuktva Bhogan Stavishtan Punarabhidishanodvasidan Kamajanyan Pitva Sarvan Visheshan Subidhi Madhura Bhumayaya Bhojayannaha Maya Sangyasturiyam Paramamృతమజం Brahmayattanatosmi Yo Vishwatma Vidya Vishayan Prashya Bhogan Stavishtan Paschachanyan Subidhi Bhavan Paschachanyan Subidhi Bhavan Jyotisha Svena Sukshman Sarvanetan Punarabhishanai Swatmanistapayitva Itva Sarvan Visheshan Vigata Gunakanappa Tvasaunasturiyaha. We have to start the whole bhashya of the 18th verse or half of the way coming?
We already started the bhashyam. We are in the second paragraph of the bhashyam.
Okay. Okay. We will read the verse for the continuity and we will go through the bhashya. Advaitam paramartho hi Dvaitam tadveda uchyade Tesham upayata dvaitam Tenayam na virudyate. We are in the 18th verse of the 3rd chapter Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad and the Māṇḍūkya kārikā. Advaidākya prakaranam Tridiyam prakaranam. And we are in the 18th verse. What is the meaning of this verse? Advaidam paramartho hi dvaidam tadveda uchyate. The ultimate reality is one and only reality, which is non-duality. The one and only thing is being perceived in the different names and forms. And all the things which is appearing is only the apparent reality of the ultimate reality. Just like the shadow due to the real person who is walking in the sunlight. Shadow can only be produced by the presence of a real person in the sunlight. No way to produce a shadow without any real person in the sunlight. Similarly, all the names and forms can only happen due to one real existence. That is why the sentence starts with like this. Advaitam paramarthohi. Non-duality being the only reality. Dvaitam tadveda uchyate. Entire world is accepting the duality is true. Every words is valuable and relevant even in this era, in this moment. Entire religions in the world accept that duality is true. For example, there is a heaven and there is a Lord other than me. Entire religions in the world accept that sentence. There is a mother and father for me. All the people accept that. What I mean is, the whole world is following the duality which is an instinct by birth of a person. After that, we need to correct that. No other way. We need to correct ourselves that what is being perceived from the moment of my birth is not real. The reality is to be inquired. That is why Atatu Brahma Jijnasa, the first sutra in the Brahma Sutra, we put an inquiry into the reality, who I am, who I am. That is why Atatu Brahma Jijnasa. Without a jijnasa, without an inquiry, without an enthusiasm, we are not going to find what is the reality behind me. The non-duality cannot be accidentally happen in our mind. It will not come somehow inside the mind. We need a teacher, we need a teaching, we need the presence of the mind, we need all the obstacles to be removed from our mind. Then, even then, there is only possibility of understanding the truth. Atmanam ched vijaniya. Suppose somebody got that enlightenment about Atman. That's all. There is no guarantee, even if you are completely prepared. There may be some obstacles which are in the form of psychological issues, in the form of physical issues, in the form of some other obstacles which are called core issues from the previous birth, so that one will not accept the reality. Even they are taught by the best traditional teachers in the world, still they will not pick up the thread. What I want to say is, even though the ultimate reality is non-duality, which is to be understood by studying under the traditional teacher and the scriptures, without that, partial vision about the reality is being accepted by the entire world, and they used to teach their followers that this partial vision is the truth of the entire world. What we call creator. Dvaidam tadveda uchyate. In the vision of Shankaracharya, Adi Shankara, the teacher, the traditional teacher, he says that it's a product of the cause. The cause being the non-duality, the product being the duality. Like the shadow appears due to the presence of the person in the daylight. Similarly, the shadow is a product of the cause, which is the body or some other thing. So Veda means here it's a product of Advaita. And Tesham Upayada Dvaitam. For them, everything is only duality. The real existence or the ultimate reality for them is the duality, they won't accept the non-duality, but we won't go against them. We are not in a dispute with a person who is accepting the partial reality of the real Brahman. We are not against them. We won't go against them. We are here to accept the entire universe. Pujya Swamiji used to say that accommodating the entire universe is also saintliness, sadhutvam, a sage life. You accommodate each and every people, each and every living being, each and every incident happening in the mind. It's a tough thing to accept. Sometimes you get cheated, still you accommodate that event. Sometimes you get molested. You may get cursed by somebody. You may get criticized by somebody. You accept the entire karma as the result of what I have done in the previous life. Maybe in this life. This is how we accept, we accommodate the entire universe in the psychological plane, in the mental plane, in the physical plane. All the things are happening by the knowledge of this one and only reality, so that tenayam na viruddhyate. They accept the partial vision as the truth, or even though duality being their ultimate reality, which is wrong, we are not against that. Being one and only real thing in the world, you can get devoted, you can get connected with any name and form. That entire names and forms being one and only reality, any name and form is also reality. So what I want to say, tenayam na viruddhyate. We are not against anybody who believe in any name and form. We won't go against them. We don't convert them. We will not put any effort, or we will not put any pressure for them to see the reality, because reality is not something which you deliberately put pressure on the person and show them. They have to come because of the blessings of this ultimate Lord to the traditional teacher, and the things will get smoother. If you put pressure on somebody to make them understand, it will not work. That is why Hindu religion never go for a conversion of anybody in the entire world. Hinduism is not something which have the pressure to make all others Hindus. The scripture says that one who believes in this reality is the ultimate religion. There is no name for that religion. Sanatana Dharma. And if we follow that Sanatana Dharma, values which are infallible when you follow, when you act upon it, and you also become infallible in this world. Those values which you perform, and you are an embodiment of those values, and you are a Sanatana Dharmi. So, there is no pressure to make anybody to understand this reality is the only truth. If a person believes in some names and forms, it's okay. When he become more blessed by doing certain actions which are right, he will come to the traditional teacher to know which is real. Up to that, we give them time. Like a seed should go certain sleeping period inside the shell of the seed. After a period of time, it will get sprouted. We should give some time. Even an egg to hatch as a chicken, we need to get 21 days under the mother, so that everybody will take a time to know what is real. That is why we are not having any pressure to convert or to make enlighten anybody. If they come, you have enough time, you take some classes as a traditional teacher. If nobody is there, enjoy your life and fulfill your own desires which are in tune with the moral values. This is what Tenayamna Viruddha. We are not against the people who are believing in duality, because non-duality is the cause for the all dualistic expressions in the world. Now, the Bhashya, where we stopped, I will read a bit. Kena hetuna taihi na viruddhyate idi uchyate. By which cause? Kena hetuna. We are not against, we are not pratyogins with them. Na virudhyate taihi. With them, we are not against one who believe in Dvaita, one who believe in heaven, one who believe a world other than this world is there, one who believes that. Then, Advaitam Paramarthohi, even though non-reality is the only reality, Yasmad Dvaitam Nanatvam, the diversity, the differentiation, what we see as names and forms in this world, Tasya Advaitasya Vedaha. Their Veda should be understood as product, result of a cause. Tasya Advaitasya Vedaha. Tat Vedaha. Tasya Karyam Ityartaha. Vedaha should be understood as Karyam, the product of the cause which is Advaitam, non-duality. Brahman being the base for all the names and forms to be superimposed in this world, no other way for the product to come without a cause. Entire products in the world cannot survive without the presence of the cause in them. Any name and form has a locus in the form of Advaita. That is why Tasya Karyam, Brahmanaha Karyam Ityartaha. It is the product of Brahman. All the names and forms are nothing but the product, and the cause is Brahman. And Lord Adi Shankara, the commentator, give certain sentences from other Upanishads to justify his commentary. He only caught those sentences which are connected with the sentences in this Upanishad. He will take some other sentences which are connected with this verse. Ekameva Adhyutiyam. This is the first sentence. What is the meaning of this sentence? Ekameva Adhyutiyam. I already mentioned you. Ekam is one word. Eva is another word. Word Adhyutiyam is another word. Eka means one and only Brahman. Eva, indeed, there is no other type of Brahman. Like, sentient Brahman and insentient Brahman. There is no two Brahmans like that. That is why indeed is also connected. Ekam, one, indeed. Adhyutiyam, without any branches or any part for that. Sajadiya, Vijadiya, Sogata, Veda, Rahitam is called Ekameva Adhyuti. The one and only formless Brahman being the base for all the names and forms, And another Shruti sentence, a sentence from the scriptures. Tad tejo asrijada iti shrutehi. Tejas, fire. All these 5 elements came from the one and only reality, Brahman. And when we say all these products means, I already discussed with you the teaching that there is no intrinsic change when there is a product appearing from Brahman. Without changing its own real nature, it appears as though a fire. Sarupa aparityakena rupantara apattihi. This is the beauty of creation. Without changing the intrinsic nature of the cause, it appears in some other form. So, how just as an actor appearing as a beggar, actor is a multi-millionaire, but he acts as a beggar who stay in a queue for getting some food in his arms. This is why multi-millionaire is in the form of beggar. The multi-millionaire never given his intrinsic nature, but he appears in the form of a beggar. Similarly, the Brahman is appearing as a fire. Tad tejaha ashrijada. It created the fire. Upapattehe cha. Possibility is also there. Swa chitta spandana abhave samadhau murchayam sushuptau cha abhava. The entire creation happens when the cosmic mind works. There is a mind, like in our body, there is a small mind, there is a big mind who is called Hiranyagarbha. If you assume a form like us in the bigger way to include all these names and forms. And we can say his name Hiranyagarbha, a big man, for example. You assume Hiranyagarbha, one who can accommodate the entire universe in his mind. When the mind of the Hiranyagarbha is awakened, the entire creation is. Like in our day-to-day life, when we wake up, our mind starts to work and all the things are there. That is why here it is told 3 possibilities. So chitta spantana abhave. When the mind stops working, when the mind stops to move from one to another, in 3 different ways your mind can stop. Samadhau. After studying under a traditional teacher for 20 years or 20 years, you are pure dispassionate towards the external world. You are just sitting under a tree inside a forest and just closing the eyes, and you are only focusing the power which is also there inside the heart. Hridaya Pundarika Sthitham Brahmam, which is inside the heart in the form of a lotus bud upside down. Heart is like that. And the person is just closing the eyes and thinking. Even if you don't go to that location, the entire consciousness is Brahman. And you can focus for several days and years without knowing anything happening externally. And this is called samadhi. You just go through the teachings which are given by the traditional teacher, giving up all the names and forms in the thought. Samadhi. You have only one thing which is also the cause for the absence of mind. Just like you put a drop of water inside the well, there is no dropness. You cannot find out what is drop. The drop is the water inside the well. So the mind is just like a drop. When we put the drop inside the pure consciousness, there is no mind and separate consciousness. This is called samadhi. After studying under the traditional teacher and getting the proper guidance, what is meditation, and a person starts to do what he is really. He wants to own the knowledge. And he is not a human being now. He's just Param Brahman, and he's just focusing on that consciousness, giving up the body consciousness. Samadhu and Murchaya. Murcha is you give up the dream state and you are just entering to the deep sleep state. Murcha. You don't think anything in the dream state, and you are not entered into the deep sleep state. Murcha. You know, when you go to the sleep in the daytime, you are not sleeping, you are not dreaming, you are not somewhere else. You can sometimes you can listen the outside world, but you are not completely sure what is going on. And this is called murcha. lot of lot of time we get that mediative that that mediative space of our states in the middle of the both states, murcha. And also on that time also you don't think anything, you are non-separate by your mind and the entire consciousness. Our other thing, samadhau murchayam sushuptau, deep sleep state. You don't see anybody in the deep sleep state. In the deep sleep state, you just non-separate and you are not knowing anything. You just enjoy the happiness within you, which is unlimited. And you are having a good sleep. In the deep sleep state, you don't think about your car, which is having some battery issues. You don't think about your son who is having some psychological problem. You don't think about the daughter who is not listening to you. You don't think about your husband who is not coming at right time in the house. You don't think about your wife who is troublesome. You don't think about your official manager who is in your profession, who is giving all kinds of pressure on your job. You don't think about anybody who is disturbing you in your life. You get a good sleep. There is no separate entity or separate names and forms in the deep sleep. That's why you always say, I got a very good sleep. And you enjoy the life without owning anything in your life in the deep sleep. You just lay down. And when you wake up, you say, I didn't know anything. I just got a good sleep. I'm happy. All these experiences like samadhi, murcha, and deep sleep, sushupti. Samadhi is something to be attained by the guidance of the traditional teacher. A meditation which is completely focusing on what we are studying now, only pure consciousness. It's no other meditation like you meditate on Ganesha, you meditate on Buddha, you meditate on Vishnu. That's not samadhi. Don't think like that. Samadhi is not something you think some name and form. Samadhi is something you don't have any names and forms. And you can sit for years in one posture without thinking about food and water even. It is possible because that's why it's called samadhi. If it is a meditation, after half an hour, you will think about some dishes which I have in my background. Samadhi won't make you to think about your food or water. You don't have the thought about your own body. That is why samadhi is to be understood properly from the traditional teachers. Murcha, it happens in the middle state between the both, where nothing, you don't think anything. And deep sleep state which already experience day-to-day life. In all these three places, we experience the Dvaita Abhava. There is no different names and forms around me. Only names and forms are there in the waking state and deep sleep state. Adaha tat vedaha uchyade dvaitam. That is why duality is being told as the product of the cause which is Brahman. Without Brahman, no names and forms can appear in this universe or in this creation. So, names and forms are just like some apparent reality which is due to the cause, what we call Brahman. Dvaidinam tu tesham paramarthaha cha aparamarthaha cha upayataha bhi dvaidameva. For the believers of duality, their real Lord or their real existence is duality only. Few people believe a God other than them. I am a bhakta, the devotee, and an ultimate reality is in the form of a God. It can be Jesus, it can be Allah, it can be Buddha, it can be Ganesha, it can be Vishnu, it can be Lord Shiva. All these believers are dualists. They believe in duality, which is the pending understanding of non-duality. From that standpoint, one needs to grow further and get matured to accept the entire universe as the cause and it is me. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. The Brahman is me and the entire universe is not separate than me. In order to understand that, you should have some patience. You should have some tolerance. You should have some time to listen to the traditional teacher. You should have some respect towards the teachings and the teacher. Everything can only make you to know the reality. If not, you go along with the flow. Where you live, what the people of that country believe, you follow that. Nothing wrong on that. But you will go for another birth, another ride. In this birth, you got a human body. But in the next birth, what you will get, we don't have any idea. So you make use of that human body which you got in this birth. That is why Dvaidinam tu paramartadaha aparamartadaha cha dvaidameva. For them, the ultimate reality is dvaidam, and the empirical reality, what they are dealing in the world, is also dvaidam. They think that there is a Lord, there is a world separate from me, there are names and forms separate from me. I have to meditate, I have to reach that God. Different believers think in different way. That is why paramartadaha means in the ultimate reality and the empirical reality. For in both ways, they believe in duality. Dvaidam eva. We cannot correct them, We cannot correct these theological people. We cannot correct the pastors or who go to the churches and everything. Anyway, we don't have the pressure, but we have compassion towards the entire world when they miss the obvious. The real Satyam Jnanam Anantam is there in the right in front of you. You miss the ultimate reality. The universe is filled with unlimited happiness. Your body is sustained by the unlimited happiness, but you are searching for dewdrops of happiness through some names and forms. In order to understand that, you need some teachings from the traditional teacher. No other way. Unlimited happiness is not to be gained by doing any karma or by receiving a name and form. There is no happiness by getting a TV or a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend. It is only a misunderstanding that by buying certain things in the world, I will get happiness. Things are not a guarantee they will not give any guarantee that they can make you happy. You can buy the best bed in the world, but you will not get sleep. Like Cleopatra was sleeping something very expensive bed, expensive mattress. She wore expensive clothes which are stitched by jewels and diamonds, etc., etc., every cloth. She used to take bath in the best milk in the world. She used to eat best food in the world so that she will not get aged. But inside the smallness continued. That's why she herself decided to suicide by getting a snake bite, which is her pet. Egyptian cobra, asp. She was bitten by the Egyptian cobra, the asp. She was having this snake as her pet in her palace. The happiness were missing. The unlimited happiness you will also miss if you go behind the names and forms. You want to satisfy your husband, which will not happen. A mind which is always complaining about everything, you cannot make happy them. Even you can bring something from heaven, they will not be happy. In every family, this type of people will be there. There is a shallow mind which is not happy even getting all the things provided by the Lord. You present them the best things, still they will not be happy. This type of husbands and wives, you need not to beg them. You need not to go behind them to make them happy. You just be happy and you take your own life and you make the children to grow by giving the proper education and showing the right path for the life. You don't try to make anybody in the world to become happy. Unlimited happiness is being filled by the Creator in each and every body. But without studying the traditional scriptures from a traditional teacher, you are not going to gain or accomplish that already accomplished thing. Siddhasya siddhi. An already accomplished fact is being discovered by the person after studying under the traditional teacher. That is why those people who believe in Dvaidam will not come to study what is the reality. They are very much fear of loosening their own standpoint. They don't want to give up their standpoint and go to our standpoint. That is why they don't want to lose their standpoint. They are always fear in the mind. If I come to know the truth, I have to give up what I am studying. So let me be happy what I am doing here. It is just like, your father made a well inside the house before 50 or 55 years. And that well is full of salt water. And you are cooking and drinking all this salt water entire life. You grown up, you matured, you saw the world, and people are enjoying the world, and you got a good water without salt. Now you have to take a decision with your mind to give up the salt water and dig a well which will be saltless water. Very few people will have the courage to give up what is wrong, which we were following by the family, by the deliberate decision of the family. I have to give up that. Without that, you will not study the traditional scriptures. You will always follow what the father and mother did. Like you will drink the salt water even though a saltless water is available inside your house itself, but in a different place if you dig the well. Very few people dare to do that. Or everybody used to follow, nobody explore the world. People want to follow what others do. They don't want to make another trail. Like one of the very famous writer used to say, don't follow a trail which is leading thousands of people to a best destination. You make a trail which is only made for you and reach another destination. It's your trail. Very few people have the courage to study the traditional teachings and to know non-duality in the world. Advaitam Paramartham. That's the only reality. For that, you have to live alone. You may miss certain foods. You may miss certain happiness which you were enjoying when you are together. Certain sacrifices you have to do in the first portion of that life. Then everything will be coming towards you. You need not to worry about that. But meanwhile, you will lose the attraction towards them, towards the best food, towards everything. What I want to say, in order to know the non-duality is the truth, you need to go to a traditional teacher, giving up all the attachment towards the world and people who are near and dear to you. Then only you are going to gain what is being already existing in you. Then one of the best sentences in the world. Yadi cha tesham brandhanam dvaita drishti asmadam advaita drishti abrantanam. Yadi cha tesham brandhanam dvaita drishti Asmagam aida drishtihi abrantan. For those deluded, the duality is true. The heaven is true. The deities which are staying inside the temple is true. The Jesus is true. The Allah is true. The Lord Krishna is true. Lord Ganesha is true. Lord Buddha is true. For those who are deluded. One who is starting their spirituality, they can believe this. Once you came to know the reality, they are nothing. All are names and forms. The only one thing which is the cause for the entire creation is Brahman, which is formless. Because it is formless, there is no name also. For the sake of understanding a formal way, we talk Brahman. It is an adjective. Brih is big, biggest. An adjective is being used as a noun, the biggest. Normally, the big will come as an adjective for a noun. But the biggest, an adjective word is used in order to show a noun which is formless, which is nameless. That is why, pending understanding, we say any belief in names and forms. At last, we will come to know by the blessings of the traditional teacher that I am the only reality which is appearing in different names and forms. Thus, I will know that all the names and forms are just appearing only. There is no existence or truth for them. Who is in the form of sister, who is in the form of uncle, who is in the form of daughter, mother, father, grandfather. They are just mere names and forms. In reality, there is only one thing which is called Brahman. So for the deluded, duality exists. For the people who are enlightened, abrantanam, who are free from delusion, for them, advaita drishti eva satyam. For them, the vision of non-duality is the only truth. Then ayam heduna, because of this cause, asmat pakshena viruddhyate taihi. We are not against their vision because whatever beliefs they carry in the life in the form of duality is not away from the non-duality. If you see the wing of the bird and you don't see the entire bird, we don't say you are not seeing the bird. We just laugh at them because they only see the wings of the bird. They don't see the entire bird. So we don't fight against them. We don't disagree with them. We don't fall into an argument with them, one who believe in different religions and different deities. Because all the deities are nothing but Brahman. They didn't know that, but we know that. So that we are not against them. Tenayam na viruddhyate taihi. We are not against them. Asmat pakshaha na viruddhyate. From our side, we don't go to a disagreement with them. We don't get argue with them. Indraha mayabihi pururupaha yate. Indraha, the Brahman, after having the mysterious power Maya, the magician power Maya, keeping that power Maya, pururupaha yate. Different names and forms are being produced. Nadu tad vidiyam asti iti shrutehe. In another Upanishad, it is told also there is no another secondary thing in the world other than Brahman. We accept them, one who see the partial vision of the reality. And we are poor of them. We are having compassion towards them. Yada mattagaja arudaha unmattam bhumishtam pradi gajam arudaha aham bahaya mam pradi bruvanam abhi. A very beautiful example. Tam pradena vahayadi aviroda buddhya tadvad. Yatha, just as matta gaja aruda aham. I am riding on a mad elephant. Brahman is a mad elephant. After the enlightenment of a human being that I am Brahman, he have the tremendous power to destroy anybody in the world. He is not fear of his human body to give up. He is ready, already given up his human body. So he have the tremendous power. I am not a human body, I am the Brahman. He can do the right thing in front of anybody without having any hesitation. He have so much strength because he is riding on a mad elephant. It is Brahman. He is riding on the most powerful thing, Brahman. And somebody who is madcap, a lunatic, a mad person, unpattam, bhumishtam, pradi, and he is staying in the roadside, and you are riding on the elephant called Brahman. Aham vahaya mam prati. He is telling to me, you ride the elephant on me, you will see who I am. That person is strengthless, that person is weak compared to our standpoint. We are riding on a mad elephant, which is ready to do anything towards anybody. And this person who is just like a drunkard, who is illiterate, who is not having the knowledge about Brahman, and he always provoke us. These dualistic people used to provoke us, even though we go silent in the world, we will be keeping very far from them. They will just come to us and disturb us. On that time, we don't ride the elephant on them. Praditi Bruvana, even he says several times towards you, ride the elephant on me, you will see my strength. If you ride the elephant, he will not be there at all. Still, what you will do? Na vahayadi. You don't get provoked. You don't go against them. You don't beat them. You don't try to destroy them. By aviroda buddhya. You have the vision that the content of me, the content of this person are one and the same. We are only separate with our bodies. Myself is in the form of this mad person. I will not destroy them. I will not provoke them. I will not get into argue of them. You just smile and keep away. Because of your enlightenment towards what is you, because of the enlightenment of Brahman. Tataha, therefore, Paramarthadaha Brahmavid Atma eva Dvaitina. Therefore, the person who has the knowledge of Brahman is the content of even the dualists. You have that understanding. I am the content of this dualist. Why should I go against them? I am. So he don't throw bad words. He don't say evil things because I am in the form of this Brahman. He's this madcap. That is why mostly the enlightened people keep away, even they get frustrated, even they get provoked, even they get all kinds of disturbance from the world. They don't react. They just smile and keep away and away from all the people. It is not due to fear. It is due to the maturity. Okay. Tena ayam heduna asmat pakshena virudyade taihi. Being this vision that all the things are nothing but me. I am in the form of all these names and forms. But they don't have that idea. They may come to provoke me. They may come to disturb me. Still, I will be silent towards them. And they can believe whatever they want. But I have my own way in the life, which is the real life. After knowing the reality, you have the capacity to be patient with anybody in the world. At least we need to practice, even though we lose the patience towards the world. Okay. More we will go through the classes in the next class. I have something to say regarding this, and we will go to the words. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ।